Every new season we discover a new football curse, and each one seems more potent than the last. At the beginning of the season, we were scared that Désiré Doué would be injured for much of the season due to the Champions League final man of the match curse, which had previously affected Rodri, Dani Carvajal, Thibaut Courtois, and N'Golo Kante. And well, just take a look at what's happening right now. In just the first half of the season, Doué has suffered 2 different injuries which have caused him to miss more than 15 games for PSG. Elsewhere, the infamous Chelsea number 9 curse seems to be affecting Liam Delap so badly. He signed for the London club in the summer and took the number 9 shirt, and he has quickly gone from one of the most promising young strikers in the country to looking like the worst. He's yet to score for Chelsea in the Premier League, has picked up a red card, and has already suffered 2 different injuries in the first half of the season. So far, he has missed 11 games due to injury, but he's bound to miss more, no thanks to the shoulder injury he sustained against Bournemouth. You see, when you follow football, it's hard to not be a little superstitious with all these many curses flying around. And well, it seems like we've just uncovered another curse. This one involves reigning La Liga champions Barcelona, and we're here to find out what it really entails and how potent it is. What is the Barcelona curse this season, and how can you avoid it? You see, Barcelona's first loss of the season came against PSG in the UEFA Champions League. It was a tight game which was decided by a 90-minute winner from Gonzalo Ramos. It didn't feel like something to be too worried about, as PSG were obviously one of the very best teams in the world, and well, the scoreline was pretty respectable. But the alarm bells started going for Barcelona fans when, just 4 days later, they lost to Sevilla in La Liga. And not only did they lose, they lost embarrassingly to a team 9th on the table. It started to make Barcelona fans question the state of the team and if they could actually compete in all competitions this season. It also made the media and rival fans start to doubt if Barcelona could actually replicate what they did last season. But of course, there was still some positivity from Barcelona fans who felt that all would be corrected after the October international break. But well, once that break was over, things only got worse as Barcelona lost the Clásico later that month. You see, for Barcelona, it's one thing to lose a game of football, but to lose to Real Madrid will always be a very bitter pill to swallow. But while Barcelona continued to lose games across all competitions, we started to notice something, a weird pattern that might give Barcelona fans some twisted type of joy. What was the pattern we noticed? You see, every team that has beaten Barcelona this season has immediately gone on a bad run. Every single one. Sevilla suffered just 1 loss in the 5 games leading up to their fixture against Barcelona. But after a resounding 4-1 victory against the Catalan Giants, they went on a very terrible run where they won just one of their next 7 league games. That has landed them in 13th on the La Liga table. But hey, that's just Sevilla, right? What about the big teams that beat Barcelona this season? Well, you see, after Real Madrid beat Barcelona, they went on to win just 3 of their next 9 games, a truly horrendous run for a team of Madrid's caliber. After the Clásico win, Real Madrid were enjoying a 5-point gap at the top of La Liga, but now they find themselves 4 points behind Barcelona and could even fall to 3rd if Villarreal win their game in hand. Xabi Alonso, who was on top of the world after winning his first ever Clásico as coach, saw everything change so quickly. In just a matter of weeks, he found himself under serious pressure and even came close to losing his job. Outside Spain, it has been the same thing. Chelsea humbled Barcelona 3-0 in the Champions League, and you know what? The Blues have won none of their 4 games since then. They went from being 2nd in the Premier League with some hopes of a title race to 5th, tied on points with Manchester United, who are supposed to be having a horrible season. Then of course, PSG, the first ones to defeat Barcelona this season. After that win, they went on to win just 3 of their next 7 games. Of course, this is an absolutely terrible run for a club like PSG. They went from sitting comfortably at the top of League 1 to now being 2nd to Lens. For PSG to relinquish top spot in the league, you know, things are really bad. So whether you believe it or not, the Barcelona curse seems to be well and truly alive, and it has been hunting down some of the best teams in the world. The moment you beat them, you must get ready for a terrible run of games which could rock your entire season. Heck, you don't even have to beat them. Once you take points from them, you're at risk. Look at Club Brugge, for example. They peppered Barcelona in the Champions League and nearly even came out with a win in that game. And what followed that? You guessed right, a terrible run. They went on to win just 2 of their next 7 games across all competitions. Rayo Vallecano is another team that took points from Barcelona this season, holding them to a 1-1 draw back in August. Guess what? They went on to lose 3 of their next 4 La Liga matches. In fact, till date they still haven't managed to shake off the curse. Vallecano have won only 3 of their 12 league games since that Barcelona fixture. It's crazy, isn't it? And it seems like this curse was warming up last season as Inter Milan were also victims of it. As you know, Inter Milan knocked Barcelona out of the Champions League semi-finals last season in very dramatic fashion. Ahead of that semi-final fixture, Inter Milan were one of the few teams who could realistically complete a European treble last season. Well, you know how the season ended for them. Inter Milan won none of the 3 trophies available. They got knocked out of the Italy Cup in the semi-finals by AC Milan, bottled the Scudetto to Napoli, and infamously lost the Champions League final to PSG in the most embarrassing fashion. They even went on to the Club World Cup and got knocked out in the round of 16 by Fluminense after winning just 2 of the 4 games they played in the competition. And oh, they also lost the Italian Super Cup final to AC Milan earlier in the year, which meant that they finished the season trophyless. There's just no way you don't believe in this curse, even just a little bit. So how do you avoid this seemingly potent Barcelona curse? Well, perhaps the best way is to just avoid them altogether. Pray you don't get drawn to face them in the Champions League or in any of the cups. Simple as that. But if you're a Spanish club, I'm afraid you might just have to write the game off. I mean, which would you prefer? Losing to Barcelona and then going on to win the following games, or beating Barcelona and going on a terrible run? The choice is quite obvious, we think. Or well, are we going to see a team rise up and absolutely shatter this curse this season? Will any team take points off Barcelona and still go on a fantastic run of games? Which team is that going to be? Tell us what you think in the comments. Also, what's the craziest and most potent curse you've ever heard of in football? Share them with us in the comments. Catch you in the next one. Bye!